This is Jim Duffy for Refining Fire Chiles. We just did a little bit of harvesting, late afternoon, early evening, September 2nd, and late afternoon, early evening today, September 3rd, 2020. And we're going to just briefly try to as quickly go over the peppers we picked for our seed business and our plant business. And just give you a little bit of information about what they are, who they're from, and try to get through this as quickly as possible, because otherwise it'll be a long, boring video and you'll fall asleep. I don't have any food for you. Just because I'm in the kitchen doesn't mean I have food. So over here we have the peach Scotch bonnet. And just to tell you guys, all Scotch bonnets do not have a Scotch bonnet shape. In the Caribbean, a lot of Scotch bonnets, and in Western Africa, there are peppers that look like this that have huge folds or ribs in the skin. Got these from our friend Sandra Tipton. Peach Scotch bonnet. Over here we have CP115 red. If you know about the CP115, that's a cross, super hot cross from Christopher Phillips. That's brown. And over here we have a couple of the CP115s, the brown ones. Moving along here, we have the Dorset Naga orange. This is something we've been growing for over 12 years. And we got our seeds from Peter Merle, Similis lapala. And it's very fruity, very productive. And I don't know why people don't buy it a lot, but we got fresh seeds coming up soon in the next few weeks. So hopefully some of you will try this out. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's better tasting than a Fatali, which looks kind of like it. Over here we have Vicente Sweet Habanero from the island of St. Vincent's, or Vicente's Sweet Habanero, and it is not just sweet. It has a good low habanero heat level, just to let you know. Moving along here, we have the yellow bubblegum. About 6-7 years ago, we got seeds for this from Rocco Maltese of Italy. It's the yellow 7-pod bubblegum. Coming over here to my stove, because we're running out of room, we have the SBJ7. Now, that's the Scotch bonnet crossed with the 7-pod Jonah. And this is the real defined shape of what they look like when they originally came out. But now, they kind of go all over the place. So you're not going to... I haven't gotten picture-perfect plant with pods just looking like this. But the 7-pod Jonah and the Scotch bonnet are two very delicious varieties. And probably one of the older super hot crosses we should keep around, since it's one of the most flavorful and productive. Over here is the skunk chocolate. We got a few pickings of the skunk chocolate, which is a super hot cross from Rocco Maltese of Italy once again. So that is the skunk chocolate. And then over here we have Pepper XXX, which is an off type of a 7-pod brain strain. 3 years ago, I got plants from Janie at chiliplants.com. I do buy plants from her. This time she's bought seeds for me in the past. And one of the 7-pod brain strains threw off some bumpy, mean-looking pods that were not brain strain shaped. So we named it Pepper X. And it's not super consistent. You get some kind of scorpion-shaped pod sometimes, but it's very hot and it's very productive. And I like productivity. I've already said that. And over here we have the Big Black Mama. And this is from Troy Primo, the creator of the 7-pot Primo. Just a few peppers. We picked pretty heavily on it before. Moving along here, we have the Red Bootla. Everybody kind of caught on with the chocolate Bootla, and they forgot about the Red Bootla, and the Red Bootla will kick your butt and heat. And its production is excellent. Actually, the production of the Red Bootla, I think, is better than the chocolate. So I don't know why people really don't buy this that often. Maybe because the videos made popular by Ted Barris about the chocolate Bootla got it out there more. But the Red Bootla will not disappoint you if you like growing super hots. And it was originally created by Chad Selesky from Wisconsin. He created the first Bootla, which is a Buchalokia Douglas cross. His friend Steve McLaren is the one who gave it the name Bootla, just to let you know. And over here we have the Wrecking Ball 7-Pot Brown, which is another cross from Chad Selesky of Wisconsin. Sliding over to here, we have a cross that's all over the place. It's a Buchalokia Pimentadinite cross, and it originated in Australia. We don't know who it originated with. It's called the Pockmarked Peach. And sometimes you get some nice purpling before it goes peach. And we've got some pods here that are more like an orange peach and bigger. And then we got some ones that are more peach colored and lighter colored and smaller. And over here we have the Ghostly Jalapeno, and the Ghostly Jalapeno is a cross between the jalapeno and the ghost pepper. This was originally created by Jack Skaggs of Ohio. The Ghostly Jalapeno. They're pretty cool. They get really long. Then up here we have Lester Williams Red, another red Caribbean type from the Caribbean. We do not know why it's named Lester Williams Red. We got the plants from Janie of chiliplants.com and saved seeds off it and grew it again this year. Lester Williams Red. It's hot like any other Caribbean red type, habanero, and it's fruity. And down here we have Mutant X. Mutant X is a variety from Matthew Arthur of Arkansas. And he's made the M.A. Vortex and the Daisy Cutter and a lot of other crosses. They're kind of elongated and they go to a point at the end. Sometimes get a little tail. Moving along, we have the Big Bang, which is a space chili from China. I'm not going to go into what space chilies are, but it's the Big Bang. And they have heat. So they're not just a big roasting pepper that's kind of mild like hatch chilies. Except for the Hatch Lumbre. The Hatch Lumbre is hot, and the Hatch Miss Junie is hot. This is the Big Bang. And then we have an old favorite that's been around for years and years and years, and that's the Brazilian Starfish, the red variant. We also have on our website the seeds for the orange and the yellow. But the red seems to be the most productive and grows the more larger peppers. It's a very mild heat and very fruity, sweet. Over here to our cutting board above the sink, we've got a couple little varieties. We have the Naga Beast, which comes from the Naga, but they're fat and squatty instead of elongated like the Naga. And this showed up in a variant of the Naga about 6 years ago. And then we have the Naga Beast Chocolate, which came from the Naga Beast Red. Right below it, we have the 7-pot Katie, and that comes from the UK. It's a very hot 7-pot variety, very fruity. Next to it, we have 1 or 2 pods of the Micah Kennedy's MK Yellow Trash. These are the first 2 small pods off the plant. They don't really look like the original MK Yellow Trash. Well, that one's a little bit closer. Over here, we have the Yellow Fever. The Yellow Fever came from the King Naga. It's a yellow variant that came from the King Naga. We don't think the King Naga is that stable. That's why we've gotten mustards from it. And we've gotten yellows. It just happens. And the King Naga is originally from the Black Naga, which we'll show you in a few moments. In the Black Naga, we got seeds from Christopher Phillips in 2011. So here's the Yellow Fever. And here is the King Naga. Jumping over here to the corner, we have some Trinidad Chocolate Scorpion. We got our seeds for this almost 10 years ago from Grand Hustler from Australia, another chili grower. Moving down here, we have the sought-after Primatali, which was created by a guy in the UK, Chris Saunders. That's what we heard from originally. So that's what we'll put on our website. It's allegedly a 7-pot Primo with a Fatali cross. It's very, very hot, and you will not be disappointed in it. It's pretty productive, too. It doesn't always get these super long tails, but that's what everybody likes about it, because they got these super long tails. So just be aware that you're not going to get that on almost all the peppers. You're going to get it on a percentage. I'd say 50 to 60%. So far, that's what we're seeing. And now we have the Trinidad Pimento, which is a seasoning pepper from Trinidad. And these are some pretty large specimens, and they have no heat. And it's probably the most popular Caribbean seasoning pepper. The Tobago seasoning is pretty close, and so is the Grenada seasoning and the Trinidad perfume. But the Trinidad Pimento is #1 in my sales anyway. Over here, we have these small little amounts of peppers. Let's start with these. These are the 7-pot Peach SG. And that's from Stefan van Gelder of the Netherlands. We've been growing this for many years. And then we have some small yellow Wartrix. That's again from Matthew Arthur, the yellow version of the Wartrix. And then we have a couple of our early chocolate Marugla pods. It's a chocolate Marugla. Down here we have this big bumpy mess of super hot pods. And this is the Bismarck from Rocco Maltese. And they're pretty consistent. Every now and then, though, you'll get a monster pod that doesn't look like the other pods, like this. And they're extremely hot and mean and productive. We like production. That's the Bismarck, named after one of the battleships, the German battleships, called the Bismarck, because it's a destroyer. You know, this Bismarck will probably destroy you. Over here we have Ahi Chalulalororo. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Chalururo, I think. Whatever. Try to pronounce it. They're very productive. It's a capsicum bacatum. They have a mild to medium heat. Very fruity. You know, the plants, you need to grow these in like a tomato cage. They're going to go all over the place. And they ripen from a white color to sometimes they get a little purple-pink tint on them, and then they go straight to this light orange color. Ahi Chalulalororo. And they grow pointing up at first. Moving along here, we have a very productive super hot variety that we were really happy with. This is the Thor's Hammer Red. We got this from Jess Christensen of Denmark. There is also a Thor's Hammer Peach, which is very productive too. They look slightly different from one another, but as you can see, they grow kind of elongated and sometimes they get a little tail at the end. You could say they're like a smaller death spiral in a way. So this is the Thor's Hammer Red. Very, very hot. Over here to this big pile of cherries, we have the Mora Quinto, Quintto, from Brazil. They grow pointing up. They ripen through many various colors, orange, pink, a little bit of purple tint, white in the beginning. And they're fruity. They have a medium heat level for the consumer, I would say, not for a chili head. Chili heads, habaneros, maybe medium heat. They're super productive. If you want a productive pepper to make a good fresh salsa or to pickle, these would be ideal to pickle and eat as a snack. Some of you guys might even throw it in a salad. They're really super productive. I just can't say, you get tired picking them. So many of them. Mora Quinto from Brazil, a Brazilian heirloom. Moving down here is an heirloom from Peru, which a lot of you may have heard of. And this is the Aji Panca. And it's mild and fruity and smoky. And it's a Capsicum chinense, which most ahis are not, but some are. And it's pretty productive. It ripens from a dark green to a dark brown. You leave them on the plant too long, you get that. They'll get wrinkly and dry. Aji Panca. Over here we have the Bootless Scorpion. This is another cross from Chad Selesky. And I would say this is one of our favorite super hots because of productivity. Out of that strain a couple of years ago, we got the Bootless Scorpion Chocolate. We only have 2 pods here. The Bootless Scorpion Chocolate is not even near half the productivity of the red, but it's really hot. And it's a chocolate variety. So if you're into chocolate varieties, you might want to grow the Bootless Scorpion Chocolate. But the Bootless Scorpion Red will not disappoint you in productivity. And it will kick your butt more than a Reaper. I can tell you that. It's fruity floral depending on who you ask the flavor about. This here is a new one. It's the Madame Jeanette, which is a pepper from Suriname, South America, small country, crossed with the MOA Scotch bonnet. So it's MOA Madame Jeanette cross. We got our seeds from Sandra Tipton. It's fruity. It's got a good habanero heat level. And we might shorten the name up a bit to fit on a plant tag. We might just call it MOA Madame or Madame MOA. But it's a nice pepper. Coming down here, we have the MRM 7-Pot Brown, another cross from Chad Selesky of Wisconsin. He likes crossing that 7-Pot Brown with stuff, but then he gets red peppers all the time. And then we have the peach variant, the MRM 7-Pot Brown Peachy. We've carried these on our website for probably a good 6 years already. And the peach keeps on growing peach, so it hasn't gone back to red. And there's the red, which will kill you too, as well as the bootless scorpion. And then over here we have the Carbonero. This is a cross from Tony Sherwood. It's got a mild to medium habanero heat level. It's very consistent. Orange pods that are elongated. These ones are kind of small. We've already picked off the plants like 3 or 4 times, so until some more grow, we're getting smaller pods now on this picking. Carbonero from Tony Sherwood of Florida. Then here we have the Bootenite cross, also known as the Black Butylochia, because a lot of times it starts out green to purple black, almost a black purple. And it's kind of smooth skin. It's not bumpy. And this is created by Luigi Muriello of Italy, a horticulturist and renowned grower. And I got it in 2011 from him. And he already was working on it for 5 years. You don't get a lot of consistency with it. The Pimenta Donati is a hard pepper to keep consistent. But people like getting that black-purple color into red, and some people really enjoy growing it. My friend from Germany, Antje Müller, she grows it every year. She loves it. And this is one of the original Butylochia Pimenta Donati crosses, probably the first in the world. And here we have the Black Naga, which we mentioned, which is the parent of the King Naga. The King Naga, red is a recessive gene in brown, by the way. So when we grew Black Nagas, we got some red plants, and we called them King Naga. And then year after year after year, we grew them both, separate, of course. And the King Naga, every now and then, like I said, would throw us different colors like yellow or mustard. But the Black Naga pretty much just stayed consistent. I think maybe one year I got a couple mustard pods on one plant. But other than that, the Black Naga we've had for a while. Okay. And finally, this gem here, and it might not be a gem for you guys, but it is to me, because I like collecting heirlooms and rare stuff. This is the Isabella Island habanero. And Isabella Island is the Galapagos Islands. So this is one of the only habanero types that we know of from the Galapagos Islands. And I think that's cool. They get pretty good size. So that excites me. That excites me. So this is Jim Duffy. We just went through everything really quick. We'll put this up on YouTube when we get the time. You all take care of yourselves. And happy growing. You got questions? You can always message me or email me. And this is the website if you want to get seeds. All right? Or plants. But we won't have every variety as a plant up because we can only fit 140 varieties of plants. We have over 500 varieties of chili seeds. And we've been in business as of 2020, almost 14 years. So everybody, take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye.